In this video, I'll be reviewing the Bellroy Sling Mini and the Bellroy Sling regular size, and also comparing them to my current sling bag of choice, the TomToc Minimalist EDC Sling. Everything you need to know about them, coming right up. Welcome to Get It Together, and if you're new here, this channel is just me trying to figure out how to get my life together and sharing the tips and lessons that I learned along the way. Slings are great, especially for EDC folks who don't always want their pockets bulging to the max. It's also highly recommended for travel, since it allows you to have all of your important things anchored right in front of you to mitigate any fears of loss or pickpocketing. For me specifically, a sling is vital because of my productivity habits that require a notebook. And since my Traveler's Company notebook doesn't fit in my pockets, having a sling is a non-decision. If you saw my current EDC video, which I'll link right up here if you're interested, I'd been using the Peak Design camera sling, which was just too bulky for everyday use since it's designed to be protective of camera gear. Asking for your suggestions, many of you actually suggested the Bellroy Sling Mini at that time, and just as I was about to pull the trigger, I found this TomToc Minimalist EDC Sling, which was half the price of the Bellroy, and it served me so well. Now I thought that was the end of my sling choosing journey, but I received both the Sling and the Sling Mini by Bellroy for Christmas and figured, hey, this would be the absolute perfect opportunity to put any of my own thoughts to rest, and of course, compare two of them side by side for any of you who have been looking but haven't pulled the trigger yet. Unboxing is identical for both. They both come with this charcoal dust bag branded with the Bellroy owl, accented with these orange drawstrings. Bellroy addresses one of my very tiny concerns with the TomToc in that they're available in many more color options, while the TomToc is available currently only in black. My friend and sister, who clearly both know me very well, both chose the Ranger Green colorway. Putting both side by side, we can clearly see the dramatic size difference, but before diving right in, there are indeed section timestamps in the description below, so feel free to hop around as you see fit. So let's kick things off with the differences in storage compartments. Both the Sling Regular and the Sling Mini have two main storage compartments. A flatter sleeve-like pocket at the front on the logo side, and an expandable cavernous main pocket. There's actually a difference between the two in the front sleeve pocket. For some reason, the Sling Mini has these two beautiful stretchy fabric inner pockets split right down the middle. Awesome for, say, AirPods, since the soft touch stretch offers some additional protection beyond just extra organization. The regular sling does not have these extra organization pockets. Again, no idea why. The main compartments are identical. With no split up interior organization, they both have this plastic keyring loop that's tremendously easy to anchor keys to one-handed. Against the back of both is a zippered compartment lined with a very soft micro fleece-like material, great for reading glasses or sunglasses, or anything else that's prone to scratches. This is perfect for me because as a glasses wearer on sunny days, I switch up to this pair of glasses with a magnetically removable sunglass attachment, which I can just put in here when I'm indoors. Speaking of putting stuff inside, let's move on to section 2, the sizing and more importantly, what actually fits in them. The Sling Mini is rated at 4-liter capacity and the Sling Regular is slated as having a 7-liter one. Side by side, I'll toss up Bellroy's own measurements briefly, but you and I both know liter capacity numbers and dimensions don't mean much to us. I mean, are measurements external dimensions? Are they talking about internal dimensions? Do they account for the thickness of the fabric? What really matters to us is what actually fits inside and how accessing the things we store in there works in real life. Right here is my typical maximum everyday carry. My regular size Traveler's Company notebook with my two Lamy fountain pens. iPhone, AirPods Pro, my apartment keys on the Spec D&T keyring, my car keys with the ThruNight flashlight, Herschel Charlie wallet, Benchmade M4 bailout, my wristwatch, usually the Seiko SKX007, the magnetic sunglasses attachment, and lastly my Queen P, my fidget toy / chess pawn promotion queen / secret compartment where I store a spare Lamy fountain pen cartridge. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in any of this stuff, they're all linked in the description below. But again, this is sort of my maximum EDC. I don't necessarily have all of this stuff on me everywhere I go, but it's important that my sling is able to carry it all. We'll start with the regular sling. Most important for me, the Traveler's Company notebook does indeed fit in the main compartment. I'll anchor both my apartment keys and my car keys and flashlight to the loop. My phone, wallet, and AirPods will go in the front compartment. The clip-on sunglasses will go into the soft fabric-lined pocket in the main compartment. And my Queen P wristwatch bailout will hang out loose in the rest of the main compartment. Plenty of space to spare. Moving on to the Sling Mini, this fails for me immediately because it cannot accommodate my Traveler's Company notebook, unfortunately. But for those interested, the Traveler's notebook in passport size fits no problem, as does the Field Notes notebook with leather cover. And by the way, if you yourself are interested in the Traveler's Company notebook's complete and customizable ecosystem, I'll link that video right up here. For my daily use, I need the larger pages of the regular size Traveler's notebook, but all the other stuff in my maximum EDC does indeed fit into the Sling Mini, albeit with less internal organization and protection that I'm used to. If you have something very specific that you're curious about, the listed dimensions are indeed quite helpful, so I'll toss them up again right now, but just slightly shrunk down to play it safe. You can pause right here to make a note for yourself to measure your own everyday carry items to validate. But there is one important limitation, which leads us to part 3, the design, construction, and quality. Since I just mentioned there's a limitation to the listed sizes, I'll start with my negative opinions of the Bellroy Sling and Sling Mini. The first negative to me in the design is the range of opening of the zipper, especially on the main cavernous compartment. The zipper doesn't extend end to end, which makes some larger items that could technically fit just not be able to fit, or at least not be able to fit without a lot of effort and tugging. This, I've learned, is a huge benefit of the TomToc since, as you can see, not only are there 2 zippers, and not only do they both go end to end, but they also extend down a bit to the sides, making the opening of the main compartment on the TomToc truly open. The second con for me is interior organization and protection options in the main cavernous compartments. For both the Sling and the Sling Mini, it's really just one big pocket for everything to bump into each other and one single flat zippered compartment that, though useful and very protective, can't accommodate a diverse amount of things. It's really just flat, so again, a pair of glasses or thinner is the capacity. Comparing this to the TomToc, where the main compartment is split into 2, and it has 2 additional sleeves, it just makes accidental scratches and dings less likely to happen. Not to mention, the TomToc has an entire extra zippered compartment hidden on the back. The last con is probably more niche and unique to me, and it's a lack of exterior anchor points. If you've been with me for a bit, you know I'm a huge fan of S-Beaners by Night Eyes. On my bags and slings, I've always have this number 4 size dangling, ready to attach a cap, a shopping bag, or this mere traveler tumbler. The Bellroy slings don't really have a confident loop or other anchor point, and this strap pass-through ring is a bit thin and less robust. Still usable since they feel to be made out of metal, but just less space to work with and less confidence inspiring. With the TomToc, I have these 2 seatbelt strength anchor loops and have added a full bag of groceries to the S-Beaner on it with no doubts of structural failure. When it comes to pros, there are a ton. For starters, from a design aesthetic perspective, I think these Bellroy slings in both sizes look awesome. The tiny branding fits well with any aesthetic without a huge and loud logo, and to me, it definitely beats out the TomToc in general appearance. Next up, in the pros, is the strap and buckle. This tremendously secure magnetic buckle is so minimal and clean compared to this gigantic plastic buckle on the TomToc. Just a much more refined look overall. Moving on to the strap, I love the contained slack management on the Bellroys. Whether you want to loop bigger or smaller, this strap adjustment system keeps the strap cleanly tucked no matter what, and just keeps the overall look super clean. Compare that to the TomToc with the flanked dual buckle end strap adjustment mechanism, and unless you're fully extended, always have these strap ends just flopping around all over the place. Another pro of the core design itself is the automatically collapsible main compartment. These slings are deceptive in terms of how much they can carry, but if you don't have that much to pack on a given day, the design enables a sling to be so much less bulky and just offer a cleaner, tighter look on body. One more pro of the Bellroy design is the use of light and colored fabrics on the interiors of the compartments. This makes looking for stuff easier than with the TomToc, which has an all-black interior. Not typically a problem, especially during the daytime, but in low light or if you happen to own a lot of black colored items in your EDC, it's just tougher to see stuff at a glance in the TomToc. Finally, in the pros of the design and construction section is the base material itself. These Bellroy slings feature a fabric called Bida nylon, which employs heat treatment on the yarn that both creates a crinkled finish that I think looks awesome, and as an added benefit, provides additional resistance to water and wear. The TomToc uses Cordura, which is also tremendously robust in those areas, perhaps even more so, but the appearance of the Bida nylon is beautiful. To round out the comparison, here's a 360 of me wearing each one so you can get a gauge for the overall look and feel. Here it is if it's carried on the front. Here's the side view when front carried. Here's the view of it carried on the back. And finally, here's a side view when back carried. I guess if I had to sum up a comparison of the Bellroys and the TomToc, it's the battle between aesthetics and function. And for me, when it comes to function, the TomToc wins hands down for my personal use cases. It's got an entire additional main compartment for a total of 3, while the Bellroys have 2 compartments. And beyond that, the TomToc offers way more interior organization. When it comes to function, the only part where the Bellroy wins is that the main compartment can expand to fit larger items like a water bottle. I think what I learned the most in this review process is just how underrated zipper range of motion is. The fact that the TomToc zippers open not only to the full length of the bag, but also down the sides a bit, just makes it so much more functionally pleasing and the user experience so much better than the Bellroys. But aesthetics-wise, and again, aesthetics is one of those subjective, personal opinion things, but to me, the Bellroys win hands down for me. I'm not saying I think the TomToc looks bad, but from the little details from the smaller branding, to the clean, thoughtful strap management, to the minimal magnetic strap buckle, and the various color selections, the Bellroys just have so much more of a clean, refined look to me. Last up, bang for buck. When it comes to these Bellroy slings, they're not cheap, ranging anywhere from $80 to $120 US, depending on the model and whether or not they're on sale. But I do think they feature great materials, construction, and especially aesthetics. The TomToc, on the other hand, is less than half that at about $40. Logically, it's a no-brainer, less than half the cost, and I'd argue double the functionality. But that nagging feeling that I just love the way the Bellroys look is one I can't dismiss. So for you, I think, money aside, if the clean, refined look and color options is important to you, then definitely reach for that Bellroy. But functionally, I definitely recommend the TomToc, and for an in-depth review of it, I welcome you to check out the detailed video I made for it right over here. And for an awesome messenger bag, you can check out this video. If you enjoy this review, please do hit that like button because that one little finger movement helps my small channel out a ton. If you got value, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified of videos just like this one that I make in the future. But regardless, thanks for kicking it with me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.